Well, you know what the people are asking as we take a look at a map of the region and where these tankers are. By the way, the first one that we seized has made its way to Galveston, Texas. General, when you seize two ships and pursue a third, are you essentially declaring war on Venezuela?
I don't think it's a declaration of war. I think it is a means of putting economic pressure on. Now, when you put ground troops in, yeah, you really need to get some authorization from Congress for that, because that's a campaign of indefinite duration once you put ground troops in. But this is a naval action to seize sanctioned ships. As far as we can tell, you're doing it with the Coast Guard resources. We've seized ships before. It's been done, and it's an easy way to put economic pressure on Maduro in Venezuela.
I'm curious your thoughts on what we heard from the Secretary of State, who held a very lengthy news conference partly on this, and the way he framed what he called a standoff in the Caribbean. Listen to Marco Rubio.
It is clear that the current status quo with the Venezuelan regime is intolerable for the United States. The status quo, that they operate and cooperate with terrorist organizations against the national interests of the United States. Not just cooperate, but partner with and participate in activities that threaten the national interests of the United States. So yes, our goal is to change that dynamic. And that's why the president's doing what he's doing.
But of course, General, to change that dynamic requires regime change, does it not? Is that what he's essentially saying?
He is essentially saying that, but, Maduro doesn't have to have all that support from the Russians. He doesn't have to have a relationship with Cuba. He doesn't have to have a relationship with the Iranians. He chooses to do that. So if he wants to survive, can the leopard change its spots? That's the question. And if it doesn't, then I think the Secretary of State's made pretty clear that this is going to be a continually tightening noose on Maduro. I hope we don't go in on it with troops on the ground, though. I hate to see that kind of a fighting in a crowded area where there's a lot of weapons on the other side. This is not Panama of 1989. This is a much different setting. It could be that it could be easily done. You could perhaps snatch Maduro out or put him under pressure, have him renounce, have him disband his people and so forth in return for some kind of exile, maybe give him a little cash bonus to sweeten the pot a little bit, get him away. If you have to go in on the ground and actually fight a bunch of people in Caracas and in the area where the port is and so forth, it's going to be destructive, probably going to take some losses, and it's certainly going to look like big, bad, ugly America again. I'd like to see us do more with the Organization of American States, with the other countries in South America. It can't be good for them what Maduro is doing. And we should be the good guys in this, not the bad guys. So we should be working with them and encouraging them to pressure Maduro to get out.